Hello everyone. Am I audible to you all? Yes. Now let's continue the session. Yesterday you were doing the segmentation. Okay. Let's continue with this again. And there may be some problem yesterday. We see whatsoever. Otherwise, we ignore and go proceed further. And I just show you this. I have explained this all to you. We were doing the some more with this empty cars we are doing, and the AMD we have removed the VS and AM, which was the binary, and we remove it, and then we take the median.
Sir, screen is not shared, sir.
Okay, please sorry, I forget to share this screen. Now getting the screen. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we are removing these two from the empty cars, VS and AM, which was the binary variables. Okay, and everybody aware about the this empty cars data set. So we have now 9 variables instead of 11. So first we have to read the MD. MD is where this I have to read it. We have the 11 variables here, and we remove these two variables which are binary, 0 and 1 form only. So we have the 9 variables. If I show you, these are all the numeric variables now. We consider it, and we are applying the median and mean absolute deviation, and we standardize it with a scale, and we take the distance. This distance are like this between the uh, observations, and then we are uh, clustering it, uh, and we plot it. So this is our that plot, and so these are the clusters. We could divide the clusters from this, and we could use one line, and we draw the line, and we could see which one is above and which one is there. I will just show you. Just take the annotation and take a line and draw one line from here. It should be horizontal properly. You could determine which one. This is our first cluster, this is our second cluster, and this is our third cluster. As per the height we see it, but it is not giving us the proper. We could not see the whether it is completely horizontal or not. So I just clear it, and I have shown you how to decide what should be the cluster as per the k means. We have done that, and if I run this, the WSS within sum of square and row car standard -1, In the sum apply function, we are using here car standard, two variants we are getting it, and for I in 1:32, and we are taking this. And error in the cluster lie between 1 and n row. So 1 and n row, we have taken here 32. We are taking right. If I write the 1 here, then see, it will not work. It will not work. We take always from 2 car standards variance, and the sum k means car standard center I within SS. Okay, and then I try to this. So this we are getting. Okay, so we are getting correct here. This decreasing the whole way, but it is showing us error. This error is not working. Okay, it is a false error. I think that. So because we are getting the all VSS value when we are running this. So it is the 260 is the first one, and then we have got all the 31. Okay, and here and 1 to 32, 31 we are taking. Here the plot for the 231 we have taken. And if we see there is a how many cluster we could select here. So if I zoom it, we see 1, 2, and 3. We could take the 3 cluster, we could take the 4 and 5 up to, and then it is not so much inclined, and then it is not much inclined now. So that is we could take up to here up to 5. So first I am taking the 3 cluster. Okay, and I see the 3 groups. I will use the cut tree function, and that model the clustering we have done here, the edge cluster, that is applying the hierarchical clustering, and we will mention there how many cluster we require. So I will show you these 3. So we are getting the which observation goes to which cluster. Okay, and I will see the table of these clusters. That is the 1 is the 7, 2 is the 15, and 3 is the 10. Okay, So let we could see that cluster here. That is the 1, 2, and 3. We are getting in this way. Okay. So first, second, and third cluster we are getting in this way. And row names I want to see for the first cluster. You see these are the row names I have given. If we have the index, we will get the indexing there. And for the second cluster, we have this name 15, and then we have this how many 10. So I'm using the library cluster for the sell out this function, and I'm taking the Daisy car standard, and I will make you'll see this first, then I will explain. Run the plot SK object SK not found. SK I have run now.
Sir, you have selected only 3 clusters, sir, but it's groups.5.
Oh, I have not taken the 5 now. Mm-hmm. This I have done here. Okay. So I do it for the 3 first. Okay. Then I have taken the 5 and then I select that. Okay. In the below I have that taken that. So it is not working there. Now it will work. I'll show you that. These 7 items in the first 7 items, not the 7 observations in a first cluster. And these 2 does not belong to this, but we have put it here in this cluster. This also 3 does not belong to this second cluster, but because it was maybe on the this or this, so there may be some, it is not exclusive. So we have just put it here. So that is not a clear clustering basically PC. And so in the seal out curve, I use the 5 now. And then I will show you. This is the 5 we are getting. Row names I will show you. Row names, why not we are getting? Okay, we have got the 4 here. No? Okay, no need of the row names. I will just show you that sellout plot here. 4, 5. Okay. Look at here now. So we see there is in the first cluster out of we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters we have. 1, 2, 3, 4 we are getting the 5 clusters. Okay, fifth one there is one observation, but it is not showing me. Why it is not showing me that 31st? That observation must be there. And 32. 30. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is not showing me properly. I run it again. The plot is not working properly, the visualization from yesterday. Either I have to install it, reinstall it. Well, there is one. It is not showing. But there is one in the 5th cluster. In the 4th cluster, you see this. So we could change the cluster. We could see which one is the best representation. We could use the 4 also. I use the 4 and I see here again. Group 4 I have to run. Group 4 is not here. In the 4 I am also getting here 3 which does not belong to this out of this 7. And we have kept it here. As you see, if you see which one was the better, so 3 was the best one, because it is there is something not belongs to this cluster, but it is mentioning there, but there are only 2 observation. It does not belong to this, but in spite of that, they have due to that uh, tie, they have put it here. Okay, and in this way we could do the clustering and the hierarchical clustering. And some more thing I have done here, the means, removing discrete variables and clustering. So the means apply MD2 as it is. We have done it yesterday. Hmm. With second time, this with mean I am using MD. Just a moment. 9 variables. If I remove that, then I see this we have done yesterday also. Invalid dendrogram input.
So while creating the cluster, we have to remove that categorical variable from the data.
Yes, yes. We have to remove that categorical because we use the distance, the Euclidean formula for the distance. Okay.
Okay.
So we use it. Why it is not working? I have written something. Cars HSLT. The plot, previous plot, I have also written the same thing. Labels, row names, MD. Oh. MD. That's why it was not printing it. Now see, we have these clusters in this way. And I take the 3 here. I will see the group. Now I have taken I have changed this value. Center I have changed. I have taken the means here instead of median. And instead of max, I have used the mean standard deviation. So I have changed that thing. This I have done. Row names. Okay. That sell out curves. So it is better than that. We have changed the scale, but I have not done this in a proper way. You could do it because we have not seen that descriptive analysis. We have not done because the few variables having the skewed and few are normal. So as per that, we have to first normalize all the variables, with some particular uh, scale, and then we could do it. So here we are following this. So here we are not getting the error here in the first cluster. In the second cluster, there are 2 okay. So this measurement is better here. Okay, when we have
Sir, I
converted.
have one doubt.
Yes.
Suppose if you take one variable is not normally distributed. We
Hmm.
have applied a log scale,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, yes.
Then also we have to convert it to Z scale. So you have to do 2 process for a variable. If the variable
Log,
is not normally
I explain
distributed.
you for the log function. When we have a skewness, high skewness is there. High skewness means more than one skewness. or the less than -1. Okay, you see we have the skewness, the range of skewness. If you see, uh, I am talking about the range here. The it should be -1 to 1. Okay, in -1 to 1 it may be skewed also. Okay, if it is between -0.5 to +0.5, then it is normal. We consider the normal data, normal distribution. What it is
Okay.
more than zero point 0.5 or less than minus zero point 0.5. Okay, we consider it is negative skewed or it is the positive skewed. Got it?
Okay, sir.
And when our value is greater than, skewness is greater than 1, then we take some measure like the log scale or the square root or the cube root scale to control this skewness under 1. Through the log, if you control it, suppose you have the skewness 2 point something, okay, and you control it through the log scale and you get 0.8 skewness now. So it is still skewed.
0.8.
It is still skewed, positive.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So that is the thing. The log scale does not convert in a normal distribution. That's why we require the G scale. And the G scale, what we have to use for which variable, that is very important. If some variable is having the 0.8, suppose skewness, then you will apply which formula? That I explained you, that the x minus median, okay, over mean absolute deviation. This formula we apply for the skewed variable. And if you have the normal distribution variable between these, we see the skewness, then we apply z is equal to x minus x bar over standard deviation. Got it?
Okay, sir. But we have to check for outliers also, right?
Outliers also. If it is under control, I think there will not be an outlier. Uh, if there is outlier, that is important. We have to check the outlier also.
Okay.
That is important. That all process we have to do in the
Okay.
analysis. Outlier, missing values, and controlling the hyper skewness. You know? Then we apply this form. We have the two options as per
Okay.
the skewness. If we have the normally distributed between the skewness between this, then we apply this one.
Okay.
If it is skewed, then we apply this one. So we have only applied one formula, na?
Okay, sir.
In the
Okay,
previous
I
case,
understood, sir.
understand. So
Yes.
if you bifurcate it, then you will not get this sort of error. Okay,
Okay, sir.
you will not get this sort of error.
But sir, as such, applying cluster analysis on any data or a variable, uh, there are no as such the assumptions that whether it should follow normal or any outliers. So there is no as such assumptions, right?
But there is a assumption for the scale. Convert them in a standardized scale. That is important, no? If you see my PPT, I have written over there that thing, that standardized the scale. What it? I will show you that point also. That is the segmentation. Okay, here it should be, no? Should be here itself. That PPT I will show you. Here see scale of the things. Okay. They are the different scales you are using. It will, the higher value scale will dominate to lower value scale. Are you agree with me? No. Yes. Aditya,
Yes, sir.
scaling is necessary here. Okay.
Okay.
So we are
Okay.
scaling it. We are not bothering about the outliers and that. But if you do it, it would be better. If we control the outliers also, impute the outlier, whatever the treatment you give to the outliers, that is okay. That is better. That is the pre-process of the analysis. If there is no assumption, but in the analytics, this is a default assumption itself.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to do the univariate analysis. In the univariate analysis, what we do? We find out the outliers now.
Right. Right.
That is the part of the univariate analysis. And these all things, the skewness we see over there, everything. So that is the univariate analysis is the first process. Without that, you could not do anything.
Right.
So this is the default. You have to do, go through all the process.
So wherever we find such outliers, we need to scale it down.
If you scale it down, it would be better. It will give you the good result.
Yeah. Okay. And another sir, doubt I have with respect to hierarchical cluster graph which you have shown. Uh,
Yes.
can you brief how to infer out of that graph? I mean, if you have to explain somebody, I got the point that it has been all the variables are clustered in 3 variables, but
Oh, no,
in
not the variables. These are the observations.
yeah
Clustering
observation,
is for the observations.
right. So how to infer or explain others uh, which cluster would be better or not in terms of tree, I mean to say, in terms of distance parameter.
Distance parameter, we have the 4 techniques there. Single and user linkage and the complete linkage. And in this way, we have the 4 techniques. So out of 4, one you have to follow. And there is a no hard and fast rule which one you have to follow. You could choose yourself. So it is not a good interpretable thing, because you have 4 options, but there is no hard and fast rule for that selection of the one process. Got it?
No, about their
There is a requirement of your creativity, what you are choosing out of 4.
no, sir, I got those 4 linkage, single linkage, complete linkage, but I wanted inference on the tree diagram which you have just now shown, hierarchical cluster diagram.
Okay.
So in the last session, you were explaining something, the farthest point and closest point. So how to interpret these branches basically? Cluster is okay. I mean, I can understand through graph, but yeah,
Here you see these 2 points are very near to each other, having the
right.
very close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you see this one is also on the some extent. If you see, this is also close to this. If you go to here, okay. And in this way, we could see it only. Okay. Then this point is also close to this, so it is coming in this way.
Okay.
Uh, how you could interpret it, inference it?
Hmm. I mean, sir, in this case, if you want to have more accuracy, then the number of cluster should get increased.
Number of clusters should get increased. That is not the purpose of clustering. है ना? Purpose
Okay.
of clustering to get the data in a, if you go increase the number of clustering, you will go to the single observation. In the single observation, you will get the within sum of square would be 0, as I have shown you that in the PPT. Okay, that where is it? If you increase the number of clusters, the sum of squared errors will decrease. But here also you see the sum of square between the number of groups. If you increase that, the sum of square within will decrease. What it?
Yes.
And SSB will increase at that moment. Sum of square between the groups. This will increase if you increase the groups. So that's the mean. So we should require the optimum number of cluster. So that we use that scree graph. We use this sort of graph, elbow curve method of this, by which if the sum of square error is not decreasing heavily, drastically, then we stop it and we take that number of clusters. Got it?
But these are, I mean, gross measures of understanding like graphical. But if you want to have accurate figures, like if I am choosing two clusters, then what is the dydx? If I am choosing the third cluster, then what is the accuracy?
Yes.
So uh, that can be seen.
No, then you have to make some formulae over there, some function then by which you could find it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So is there any concept called as cluster score or something like that,
No,
so
no,
that we can
no, no,
understand
no,
this?
no, there is no concept.
Oh, okay, okay, fine, sir.
And there is no concept I have not seen so far. And now I show you k-means clustering. It was all about the hierarchical clustering. Okay. Now we see the k-means clustering algorithm. How does it work? So I'm taking the N100 and the G6. G6 are the 6 group I am taking over there. And first I make my data frame, then I will show you. You see this, I have taken the this and you see how many groups are you getting here?
4.
4 groups, 4 clusters. I have taken this, I have created this data because I want, now I will apply the k-means clustering here. Okay. And we will judge after the script prod, we create a script prod and we see how many cluster it is showing us. Okay. Whether it is showing us the 4 cluster, and if we do with the k-means cluster, we are getting the same groups or not. Got it? So first I have created the data, form the data in this way. Okay. So this I'm giving a new name, that is my data to this data frame. And you will see this my data x and y. X is arrival time deviations and the departure time deviation is given. And I use that algorithm WSS and row my data minus when the sum of apply my data to variance. And then I am using this function and I will plot it. So this script plot I am getting. So how many cluster would be there?
3.
3. but here we are getting 4. So this sometimes gives me it is some bug is there in the visualization part. So I again do it. You will see you could get some. I remove it and do it because the previous visualization effect sometimes. Just a moment. Now it's okay. There is a bug in my RS Studio, so I'm getting this sort of. Okay. So now how many cluster we should have?
4, sir.
That is the bug here in my visualization part in the RS Studio. Okay. Sometimes it is not giving me the proper figure. So if you run it, you will get in this way. So this is the 4 cluster it is showing us now. Correct. I have not done anything. I have just rerun it. It is not a set sheet like that thing. It's the fix. We have not any random function is here. Got it? And so I do the k-means clustering. The function name is k-means and the data and how many cluster you require. So in the k-means, I explained you the first we have to decide the number of clusters. Okay, so we have decided the number of clusters through the script plot. But in hierarchical clustering, we first we make that model and then we use the script plot. Then we cut tree it. Here we first decide the clusters. So I do it and fit. If you see the fit names in the fit, there are so many arguments, and the one attribute we are taking the cluster from there, and I'm writing that $D cluster. So $D cluster, why I'm writing? Because the D is my data set, and here I am adding that new column. If you see the D, I will show you. Where is that D? This is my D. There are the 2 variables. Now I am adding one more variable there. That is a cluster. So I will show you that also. So this output I will get here in the D. If I show you the D again, you could see it. There is a cluster. So this will go to the first cluster, the third cluster. It will go to the third cluster in this way. The second and the 1 and 4th cluster and 2 cluster. So it is going this way. So it is showing me in which cluster it will go. Now I will run the ggplot2 and I will just show you that points how I am getting here. I run it. You see this cluster we have created through the k-means. We are getting the same cluster. Natural cluster we are getting. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now we make a sellout plot for this. And you see this now. It's perfect clustering in the exact clustering that you see. Very clear clusterings are there. Okay. And then we have done one more data set I have taken. Wine data set I have taken. And I have selected a few variables only. The pH, sulfates, alcohol, total sulfur dioxide, 4 variables I have taken. We have so many variables which are numeric here, but I have taken only 4. And finally, I am choosing only 2 first time, the pH and sulfates, okay, in the wine. And I'm using one function, my function x minus mean x and sd. That is the MD function I am making. And here I will put that value and I will get this all together. I will standardize the scale. So wine standard, wine mutate pH, MD pH. MD is a function name. pH I am using a standardized and the sulfates also. Okay, so this the same name I'm going to do it there. I will show you that this wine first. So head of wine I will show you. There are two variables. Okay? And then I run this and I will show you how does it work. And now I again show you the head of wine. So you will see they are in the uh, I have run it or not. Yes. I just again do that thing. So I only do this too. I will show you this. And I run this. And wine pH, MDPH, and the sulfates. And I run this. And then I see
Sir, you have to see for wine underscore standardize, sir.
yes, yes. I was just mhm. I write here that thing because okay, I have changed the name. No, I have not put the name wine. Correct. Here I have not changed. No? So I thought that here also I have not changed. So I will see the head. Sometimes you see we have the same skill now, and I'm converting them as a my data, and I run that same thing which we have run over there, and you see this scree graph. And if I show you this scree graph, how many clusters would be there? We are taking 6. Okay, we could take the 5 also or the 6. 5, 6, 7, we have 3. Then it is also the 8 maybe there. 5, 6, 7. So I think the 5 is sufficient for me. We have taken the 6 here instead of 5. You have to use whatever you want. You use first 6 and then 5. In this way, you could do it. Where you get the sellout plot, where you find better. And I am making a new column there. Fit dollar within SS. I want to show you what is there within SS. This and wine dollar cluster, fit dollar cluster. I am taking this then in wine or not. I want to take then in a wine cluster standard also. So this is the here and this also here. Same thing I have put in the both the data frame. Now I'll show you some more thing. Right. Okay. I have changed for somebody asked me something, so I have changed previous, but we will take all the, and I will show you that. I'm taking the 4 variables, and I'm making this formula and using this for the scaling all. So we are getting the scale in this way. Then I'm making this. So this we are getting here. If I show you, so it is the 6 is okay. We are taking the 6 with our 4 and we run it. These are within SS, and this we have done there. And now I will show you some plots. Okay. This plot I will show you about the clustering, and as we have seen in the means cluster in the previous case. So I will show you this. You see here the clustering. This is the clustering between pH and alcohol, 2 variables, and we are getting this one. We have the 6 clusters. So you see the clustering is good. The some this purple color are here. Okay, and the some green colors are here. I will show you some other 2 variables. Here you see, and you see the sulfur dioxide and pH. This is in this way. Alcohol sulfates. This. Why we are not getting that clustering? It is good clustering. Then why we are not getting it? What is the reason behind it? There is not a proper clustering, or the clustering is proper, or something other we are viewing it.
Sir, here only you are comparing it with 2 variables, sir, but we have used all the variables, right?
Yes, so there is a
For
horizon.
creating the cluster.
Yeah. There is a thing that you have seen that in the Taj Mahal, or we go somewhere and we put one finger in this way and we shoot one photo. Okay, our hand is on the tip of the Taj Mahal. Got it? So that is a view from a different angle. We are viewing it. Okay, it is not a 3-dimensional. We could not view here, no? So it is in that 3-dimensional way. Multi-dimension we have. So we could not see it properly. Okay, we see it is merging to each other, but it is not like that. Understand?
Okay, sir.
So this is the, because we have the different variables and uh, we are just using the 2-dimension graph here, no? So we see in this way, otherwise these are clear. So wine to function x t apply wine cluster mean. I will just see why I used it. So it is that apply function I have used for the columns, and the function is function x t apply the cluster means. Okay, so this I have used here, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we are getting the mean of all the clusters, the mean of pH in first cluster, mean of pH in second cluster, mean of pH in third cluster. In this way we are getting the mean of sulfate, also mean of alcohol, and mean of total sulfur dioxide. So you could compare it. If you see the highest mean is here 1.25 of the sulfate. First we see here the highest mean of pH is 3.49. This one. Okay. So higher pH wine belongs to 5th cluster. Got it? Okay. So that is the second you see here, we are getting here. So higher sulfate belongs to second cluster. So in this way you could interpret it something. We could interpret the things like this also. If you see here, so higher alcohol, and higher alcohol is this one. So higher alcohol belongs to first cluster. Okay, the wines which have higher alcohol. So this is the mean I have taken, and I also use some standard. This is the wine with wine, and this is the actual value. And, wine data set I have taken. So now standard, if I see the T apply X wine is standard cluster, and then mean. So I will see what I get the difference. You could see it. Are you getting the same response? Look at this. Okay. Here you see it. Getting whether you are using the original scale or you are using the standardized scale, you will get the same. Okay. This one and this one. And here you see 102 and 1.7. Got it? So you could have some idea through this. So I have used this apply function in the T apply for showing this. And now we see the sellout plot for this. And I will show you. So there are so many observations. So I have taken the border NA. If you don't take border NA, it will not create here. Okay. So there are some noise in it. This not belongs to this, but it has been kept here 289. Here we have 311. Here we have 433. This is okay. And this is 249. This is the 48, and this is the 269. What it? Okay.
Sir, again, I will ask the same question maybe, but I am just recollecting my cluster analysis theory. So it involves some probability of misclassification also, misclassification within the clusters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So those are not inbuilt in these packages.
No, no.
Okay. Okay. Because we had some Mahalanobis distance
Because
theory.
the one I have made one data, you see that was the crystal clear about the clustering, which I prepared myself, and then I show you the four clusters, in this.
Hmm.
So that was a different thing. But in the real scenario, if we get the data,
Right,
we won't
right,
get the data in this way, which
right.
I have created.
Exactly.
So that is a mismatch somewhere. You could decrease these all things through the pre-processing of the data.
Hmm.
We could control these things,
Hmm.
but I could not say it would be vanish.
Right.
But we could control it up to some extent.
Hmm.
Okay.
Right. But that misclassification factors are not being considered yet, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We could control it. We could control it. We could optimize it through the pre-processing, because we have not done the pre-processing in the anywhere, because it takes very long time.
Right, right, right.
So we have not done that thing.
Okay, okay. No problem, sir.
Okay. So you have, whenever we do the clustering, we have to go through the pre-processing everything. Then you
Right.
do it, you will get the very few misclassifications in the clustering also.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So this was all about the clustering and the segmentation. And what I would like to tell you now. Next thing is we have the one topic remains, that the ridge lasso and elastic net regression. Okay. So I just explain you first. The regularization I am talking about, the linear and the linear regression basically. So there we see three more, what we could say that our mm, ridge lasso and elastic net regression. Every possible combinations of independent variables which are numeric, and because in the linear and the logistic we always take the numeric variables, independent variables are highly correlated, so that that creates multicollinearity problem, and we have seen earlier also. And to when we work on the multiple regression analysis, the estimates that we get are not very stable, and because of that we that the prediction model we are trying to develop uh, may not be very I think accurate, you know. So because of that multicollinearity, we have some techniques by which we reduce the multicollinearity, we have explained earlier also. And the collinearity leads to overfitting. The main thing is that. Okay. So we have few solutions for that. One is the ridge regression. Second is the lasso regression, and third one is the our that elastic net regression. So I will explain you one by one and a little bit. Ridge regression shrinks the coefficients to non-zero values to prevent overfit, but keeps all variables. You know,
Sir, your PPT is not visible, I guess.
now I am not showing the PPT. I
Acha.
just telling you through my diary the few
Okay,
things. Okay,
okay, okay,
because the PPT is misplaced somewhere.
okay, okay,
Because sometimes our system get problems, so we reform it. And
okay.
so I will write here. You could note it. The few points are there only. I will not tell you the all about the few important points are there. Ridge regression.
Hmm.
It shrinks the coefficients. Coefficients, you know that beta 1, beta 2, beta 3. Okay. It shrinks the coefficients to non-zero values. Okay. To prevent overfit. To prevent overfit. But keeps all variables. But keeps all variables. You understand what does it mean by keep all variables? What does it mean by? We keep all the variables. We don't reduce we can't we don't remove the variables with the VIF or the p value. Okay. Whatever the numeric variable we have in our data, we keep all. Understand when we use the ridge regression? Any doubt? Okay.
Uh, what do you mean by non-zero values? Means a negative value will be neglected, sir. I can't able to understand that.
Coefficients. Brings
Coefficients negative
coefficients
value.
to non-zero values. है ना? To non-zero. It will not convert them in zero.
Okay.
The near to zero, but it means the non-zero means non-zero values to prevent overfit, but keeps all variables.
Okay.
And here what we do, I will show you. Sum of square of error in ridge is equal to sigma y minus y cape square. We know that this is the error y minus y cape. Everybody know that is equal to y minus y cape. I explained you earlier in the linear regression part. And what we do, we use one what it is say the control or element, that is the lambda, and we use the beta square there. Whatever the beta we have, the square of that we use here, and in this way it works, the sum of square of error. So this is for the ridge regression we do in this way. And the lasso, what we do, there is a very little bit difference in the lease, and it is a penalty factor, we say the lambda in a technical language, and it shrinks regression coefficients with some shrink to 0, with some shrink to 0 also. Thus this also helps with feature selection. Okay, with some coefficients it converts in 0, so then they will not be involved in your model. If the coefficients are 0, it will remove that variable. Got it? So thus this also helps finally, also helps with feature selection. You know, so we have, wherever you have the coefficient 0, the feature will be removed. Okay. And what we do here, we see the SAC, sum of square of error for the lasso. We get the sum, the same thing, y minus y cape square, but here we lambda plus beta in this way. This is basically a penalty term. Here we have taken the square. Here we have not taken the square of beta, we are taking the absolute value. Got it? And if we see about the elastic net, elastic net is the mixture of both. Okay, in the elastic net regression, it is a mixture of both. So if I explain you as a mix of ridge and lasso, we could say that mix of ridge and lasso. We also do in the R, then you could better understand that thing. And we see the SAC and the elastic net, and we get here also the y minus y cape whole square, and here we get this penalty in this way. We take one alpha level here, we decide it how much weightage we are going to which one, plus alpha into sigma. So if alpha is 0, if you put the alpha 0, so this will become 0, the model would be ridge. Okay, model would be ridge. If alpha is 1, then what will 1 minus 1 0, so this will become 0 and this will be lasso now. Okay, so that is, we set some value where we mix both the thing, and I will explain you with R. Okay, so this is the controlling the collinearity in our model, in the overfitting in our model. If we see the model is too much overfit, then we use this thing. Okay. Very rarely we use it because we control the collinearity through the multicollinearity through the VIF and this all. So there is no need of this mostly. Okay. So I just take that. We are using the library one, the Caret, GLMNet, ML Bench, and Psych. I will show you what we are, why we are using which one. Run this off. This data we are using the machine learning bench, Boston housing data we are using here, and I am giving one name data. Okay, that is the, I just remove it, just direct run it. Okay, so I have to take this first, then I could run it, and I will see the structure. I will show you that we have the most of the variables are numeric, only the one variable case is the two levels. And if you want to see this data more about, want to know about this data, you could put a question mark and you could write that Boston housing. We have two data set of Boston housing. You will see here the details. That is the dictionary of that. You see the crime, per capita crime rate by town, and proportion of residential in the zone for lots over 20,000, lots over 20,000 square feet. And so many things are given. We have the target variable is this median value of owner occupied homes in USD dollar, and 10,000, 1,000, sorry. So that is our target variable, and this is our Charles River dummy variables one, interact bounds over river, otherwise zero. So this is a some sort of categorical, we could say that. So now this fourth variable, and this target variable, 14th variable, and we have the total 14 variable. So I want to see the correlation between the numeric variables. So, but I want to see the correlation between independent variables first. So I will remove that target variable and removing that binary variables. And this is the case Charles River dummy. And I run it and I just make it here so you could see the graph properly. Okay, so this graph I have created peer panels. So you are getting that here. We are having the correlation. It is showing us the correlation between the variables. Here is a 0.76 here, the 0.73, 0.7. There is no very high correlation, but these are the few variables having the correlation higher. So we are working on this. Now I will partition the data. I will show in a very short form, training and testing, and I will custom the control parameters. The method is the repeated CV, cross validation. In the cross validation, I am taking the 10 part of the data, and the 9 part I will work, and the 1 part I will use for the validation in between. And the repeats 5 times the iteration for this. And the verbose iteration is 2 because I am repeating 5 times. This is the custom I have taken. The linear model I am making, and this is the set seed I am using here because the iteration would be there. I will use the custom. So training the model, MEDV is my target variable, tilde dot, other are my what we could say that independent variables, data is train. Okay, method is LM, and training control parameter is the custom. This I have used here, the custom parameter. This is also a kind of, in this way we could do it also. So that training data I have taken from the data. Okay. Here that binary variable is there. Every variable is here. Okay. Because I have just removed that in my pair panels, and I have not removed these variables 4 and 14 from the data frame. So it is there in the data frame, and I will run it. So it is the iteration you are seeing. The result is for training, and now I will show you the results for this. So you will see it is the intercept is true, and this is the RMSE of our model. It is 4.23. R squared value is the coefficient of determination, and the mean absolute error, RMSE standard deviation, R squared standard deviation is here, and the mean absolute error standard deviation is here. So it is giving me, if I see the plot of this, these plots, the four plots we get in the regression. So this is because I have not done work with the variables, so it may be like that. This is the QQ normal plot, and this is my scale, and these plots you already know, I explained you earlier. Now this is the simple linear model I have developed. Now I am using the ridge model, and the ridge model, what I will do, I will use the train, the method, the general GLM net. Okay, net is a elastic net, GLM generalized model, and the tune grid expand dot grid, the alpha I am taking 0. Alpha I explained you. If alpha is 0, then it is a ridge model. Lambda, you know that we have a control parameter penalty. That is a term we use it. So we are getting the sequence 0.001 to 1. The length is 5. So 5 values we will get here in the lambda, and we see what would be the suitable over there. And we have to select the value of lambda, and TR control is the same as I explained you. I will show you this. It is running. And first I will show you the plot of this. So this is a plot we are getting, and this plot is very, very important. And here you see the lambda is 5.5 should be the lambda. Here you see the RMSE is increasing. So up to here the RMSE is okay. So we are selecting this one. From here, if I select the RMSE is higher, root mean square error. So I will select this one. Lambda would be better here at the 0.5. So I will plot reach final model X variable lambda T true. So here I am telling you that in the lambda, what I explained you, it keep all the variables up to the non-zero. So up to the last table you see, it is the all variables are there. 13 variables it is showing. It will not removing any one of the variables. But at the lambda, log lambda, if you see here, so it is a log value of the lambda. Here you will see. And here, as we are going in the lower value, the these coefficients are having too much value, higher values. And when we are controlling it, we are going the lambda, we are increasing the lambda, then these are controlling. Okay.
Sir, that label we did true, no? Suppose if it's there false, then what will be the like?
What
Sir,
yes.
Sir, that we wrote level equals to T. Instead of T, if we are writing F, so what will be the changes in the graph? Like which part we won't be receiving?
Okay, just a moment. This label?
Yeah, yes, sir.
These are the labels.
Okay. Yes, sir, got it.
If you remove it, the label will not show, na?
Okay, sir, I thought maybe some process.
No, these are the labels only. I remove it for you, and you could see it.
Okay, sir.
The labels were there, na? Whatever the labels is not there.
Okay, sir.
There is
Sir,
that.
can you go to the previous plot we have done, sir? Previous
What?
plot.
You see, there is a label now. These are the
Previous
labels.
plot. Sir, can
Previous.
you go to the previous plot?
Okay, just a minute. Previous plot. This one. This one.
This one.
Yes.
Sir, you said that 0.5 is the lambda value you have to set, right?
Yes.
Ho- in the code you have set a 0.5 value. How you can able to check, sir?
It is the regularization parameter, as I explained you, and a controlling parameter.
Okay.
And it is also called the regularization of the regression model. Na? This LASO,
Okay.
RAG, and this all.
Okay.
So here the RMAC is lower. You see, it is 4. It may be 4
Okay.
RMAC.
Okay.
Got it? And then this RMAC at the regularization parameter of the lambda, we see it is same. If we are taking the 0, it is okay, no problem. For the ridge model, what you do? We take the lambda 0,
Okay.
as I explained here. You see, lambda
Okay.
0 is for the alpha 0, not the lambda. Alpha 0, sorry.
Sir,
Here,
ridge regression, sir.
ridge regression. So here it is setting the lambda value, because you know that I have explained here the lambda also. We are using the lambda, that is a regularization parameter. So we have to decide the value of lambda. Okay. So we have to decide the value of lambda where the RMAC is lowest.
Okay.
Up to here. So the last value you see here, it is 0.5.
Okay.
If we take 0, then there will be no controlling regularization parameter. Lambda 0. If you write here 0, if you write
in
here
the
0,
code, I want to see in the code where you have mentioned that 0.5. The code I want to see.
later I will explain it. No?
Okay.
Later,
Okay.
length 5 I have written here.
Length 5.
Yes. So this we have got here, that the results with that was we have created. LM result, we are getting this, and this plot we have created. So this we have created for the ridge, after running the ridge, and we have got this. So ridge final model x variable lambda and label true. So I will show you this. So this is I explained you. This also I explained you. It is through the deviation. Okay, it is the fractional deviation explained. So this I'm not explaining in detail, and this is the importance we are getting, the variable importance. This is the very important variable, this is very important, this is important, and these are not important. The last variables you see where it is the zero importance is here the scale. So if you want to keep the variable less than 20, you don't want to include, to remove these variables, you keep only this. Okay, so in this way, yeah.
So var IMP, that is a keyword in R. Okay.
Variable important.
So that means if we want for any like plot, we can use this one important parameters if we want.
Yes.
Okay.
We have to write down the model name.
Yes, sir.
Then scale, whatever you are using, scale we are true.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay. So that is the variable important. So variable importance plot we have created for all the variables. Okay. And you could remove the variables later on.
Function is in default package, or you have to install a specific package for it?
Variable importance.
A function, for using that function, we have to use any specific package?
I will show you.
Okay.
Caret library we have used earlier.
Okay, sir, got it.
JLMNet we are using for the generalized model. We have used that function in the range. This function we have used here. Okay, method for this, and this is for the our data set, and this is scikit library. We use for many statistical purpose. Okay, so
So
now
can
we see.
use that variable important for the normal linear regression also we can use, right? For
Yes, we
variable.
could use the.
Okay, okay.
But here with this we are taking with our ridge model. We are using the lambda some value we are fixing for the lambda. Okay, then we are using it, and here you see for the lasso I am taking this, the same thing here. Alpha is 1 for the lasso. Alpha is 1. I explained you. Lasso alpha is 1, so we are taking one lasso, and alpha, and this other thing is same. I run it and I will show you the plots. So you see here the plot. Okay, so RMAC is increasing from here itself. So if I see this is the variable importance it is providing me, but here you see what should be the lambda. Okay, what should be the lambda here? So I will show you. Lambda is 1 into 10 to the power minus 0.4. That is near about 0. Near to 0. Got it? So lambda should be 0 here. And now we use the elastic net. There is no much difference. The same thing. Everything is same, but just we have to write down here. Here we are also taking in the alpha, that thing, because the previously we were taking the alpha 1 for the lasso and the 0 for the ridge. It was fixed. Lambda we have to find out the lambda, and we find out the lambda through this graph. And here we also mentioned the alpha 0 to 1 sequence 10 values of alpha we'll put, and 1 we have to select from that. And I will show you. This is the EN model name. It is running still. There are fitting alpha 0.111, lambda 0.1. Okay, so I will show you the plots. So we get these plots for it is the different regularization parameter we are using, lambda, and it will show you like that plot. It is showing the same thing. And variance inflation factor, variance importance you see here. So this is also giving us the same importance almost. Now we compare this model. Okay, so model list I am making the list of the linear model equal to LM, then ridge equal to ridge. First model was the LM model, second was the ridge, third was the lasso, and fourth was the EN. So I am making a list of this, and then I resample model list, resamples model list as a result, and I will show you the summary. And you will see here in the model a number of resamples 50. There is no NS. This is the minimum value, first quartile, median, mean, third quartile, the maximum value of the linear model output, lasso, ridge, lasso, and elastinet. This is the MAE, mean absolute error. RMAC, root mean square error. R squared value is here for the model. They have given the parameter for that. So R squared values mean is this one, and everything they have given. And we could see the plot. So it is the linear model. R squared values almost we are getting the same here. RMAC here you see, and best tune model we want to see EN dollar base tune. So we see what should be the, so it is the base tune model elastic net where the alpha is 0.11 and the lambda is 0.1005, which we have got earlier also. 0.11 and 0.1. So 0.1 is the 0.1005 is the same thing. Okay. And we see this best coefficients. So these are the coefficients of the base
Sir,
model.
how you decided that elastic net model is better?
No,
How do you
elastic.
select?
You know that in the EN, we have just tuned the best model, EN model. The lasso and ridge are the one-sided, na? You know that the lasso model, in the ridge model, we are using the lambda 0. Lambda alpha 0.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and there we are using the alpha 1. We want something between them. Elastic net, the finally we get the elastic net model, which is the best one. So you could, the best tune is this one. You could use the best tune also for your lasso model. So you will get only the lambda value over there. Alpha would be 0 in the ridge, in the ridge. Got it? So if you see the names, you see here, best tune. Okay. If you see in our previous, I have written in the small ratio ridge, RIDG ridge. So if you see the ridge and you write here ridge, I have just tell you one, and you see here alpha is 0 and the lambda is 0.5, which we have seen earlier. No? And the for lasso you could also see this.
Sir, I am asking how you have decided the elastic net is the better model.
No, I have not decided it. I am just showing the base model
Okay.
parameter of the elastinet.
Okay.
You could see the best parameter for the lasso also. You could see the best tuning for
So
the
how you have to compare? We have to compare the RMAC.
RMAC. We will compare with the RMAC model comparison. And the best I will show you. This is the best and coefficient of the best. So when we have selected the best one, best final model, EN dollar final model, and then you could see that the coefficients you will get, whatever the coefficients, these are the requirement of our model. Final requirement is these coefficients we require only for completing the equation. Okay, so this we have got at the final stage. This is the general overview I have given to you. In this way we could do it, but before that we have to something we have to pre-process in our data. Then if required, there is a too much, it is the overfitting, our model is overfitting, then we do this thing, ridge, lasso and elastinate. Got it? So what does mean by the overfitting? Can somebody explain me? What is overfitting? Yes. Yes, what is overfitting of the model?
So when training and test data set have higher RMSE, then that is called as overfitting.
Hmm.
Is that right, sir?
You are telling the higher RMS in the both training and test.
No, the difference is higher.
Yes, correct, correct. That's right, 100%. The difference of the RMSE is higher in the training and the test result. Okay, model. So that is the overfitting. Okay. So for reduce that RMSE, if we apply this regularization parameters, okay, like the range, lasso and elastinate. Got it? And through the RMSE, again, we decide which one is the best model, lasso, ridge or elastinate. Is it clear to all? The basic concept of this whole scenario is this one. Yes.
Sir, sir, in line number 89, BW plot. So what is indicated on the screen? So like B plot will be, it's a keyword like we can use for any other plot. Suppose we want to do somewhere, we'll write BW plot and then variable.
No, that is a plot type. BW plot, if I show you the complete information about the BW plot, it is a type of plot. I will show you that. Common bivariate trellis plot. A BW plot.
Oh,
This is the
basically, like in what case we use these plot? Like you have depicted three models on that screen in back. So for such kind of representation,
such kind of representation. It is allow the multiple groups or the plots. We could say that, and there are some parameters also you could see here and read about it.
okay.
Okay. So we have the different plots we could create. So BW plot I have created here for the result. These parameters we have already.
Yeah, yeah.
So what we have done in the plot, we just see that the box plot I have created inside it.
Okay.
Box plot with the result R squared values I have, the mean of R squared I have. We have seen that, no? Mean
Yeah.
and the minimum value of the R squared.
Yes, sir.
You know that here. Okay.
Yeah.
These the R squared values, linear model. What is the R squared there? So R squared will come with the each observation.
Hmm.
So that's I have created here. RMAC I have created, and MAE I have created. This data I have in the results. So I just put that data here. If you put anything else, you will get the plot of that.
Okay. So that means box plot is inbuilt in these functions.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I will show you that also. Just a moment. It is inbuilt basically the R documentation.
Okay.
And you could do in this way. I will show you. Got it?
Yes, sir.
That is nothing. That is the box plot only.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I could create the box plot also.
Okay.
The facet box plot with the help of ggplot2.
Mhm.
But I don't want to use the long
Yeah, yeah.
syntax. So I just BW plot I have box B for the basically the box plot we use it.
Okay, sir.
But there is some other name they have given for that. Bivariate trellis plot.
Okay.
Sir,
Trellis
is
means you are making so many plots in one figure.
Okay.
Common bivariate trellis plot. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Sir,
this is the coefficient we get. Now I think Vijaya ma'am, are you getting this? Why we are doing the regularization? What is the use? Yes. Yes, Alka, have you got it?
Yes, sir.
When we get a big difference between the RMAC of training and test data, then we use this regularization technique. Okay, you have done everything and you have make a model, but when you make a model with a lasso and the ridge, then you have to involve all the variables. Okay, first you do with the LM. In the general LM, what we do, we just remove the variables through the VIF, through the p value, through the AIC step function, and then we final get the data and final get the model, final, and we get the final data, and then we prepare the train the model, and then we test it, and then we see the RMAC of the training and testing. In spite of that, if we get the big difference between the RMAC of the training and testing data, then we switch to regularization of the model. Understand?
Yes, sir.
And at that moment, what we do, we involve all the variables again. Okay, as we have taken the when we have started the linear regression model, the training data set, we use the training data set, that initial training data set, okay, which we used for the LM model, and that data set we use here, and then we do it, okay, with the all variables. So it will
But,
automatically show you.
But categorical variable also you have to remove, right, sir, for lasso regressions and all. We have
Yes,
to
yes.
remove?
No, I am telling, when you have partitioned the data, when you partition the data,
Okay.
when we have convert the categorical variable in dummy variable, these all things you have done prior.
Okay, after that.
After that, you have divided the data in two parts, training and testing. And then training data you are using with the LM model also. In the LM
Okay.
model, we are removing the variable as per the VIF or the p value or the AIC. Okay.
Okay.
The same data, training data, we have to use for ridge. Same training data we
Okay.
have to use for lasso and the elastic net.
Okay.
Same training
Okay.
testing data. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So when we use, only when we see the big difference between RMAC in linear model, then we use the regularization for minimizing the gap of RMAC. Okay. I think it's sufficient for today session. It was our last class, and we have covered almost the course all, and I will share this all with you, the script, and you work more on it, you study from the net and the other things also. This terminology I explained you. Okay, now you know the various techniques and the terminology, and you could search on this topic and you could be more perfect on this. Okay,
Okay, sir.
more perfect than me.
It takes
Okay.
time, sir.
No, if you learn and some particular domain, if you work, maybe the more perfect, then it's not
Yes.
a, because I have a lots of topics I have to read, and I am not in a perfect in some particular. Linear and logistic regression, my favorite one. I have done lots of work on this. I have done so many models on this. So that is my favorite one. And so I think you are satisfied with the 2 days session.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have completed the clustering and segmentation. You also watch some videos on the clustering and segmentation on the YouTube channel. The various there are so many videos of the various persons have put over there. So you also watch that, you know? So you could get. I have given you the basic idea of the clustering and segmentation.
Sir,
Okay?
what about the certificates?
Certificates will be, you will get. I think that after Diwali, on the
Okay.
Monday. Okay, because the Mukeshji is also involved in some other project at this moment, so he will be free after Diwali. Okay,
Okay, sir.
So we will get the certificate. You will get the certificate after Diwali.
Sir, happy Diwali in advance.
Everyone, happy Diwali and happy Dhanteras to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, one last query, sir. Can I ask?
Yes, yes.
In line number 10, you have used one pair panel, na? Pair dot panel.
Yes, yes.
Sir, that is keyword which goes together, pair panel, or it's like for that case only we have used.
Pair panels is a caret library, na? We use
Okay.
for the correlation graph.
Yeah. And sir, in correlation graph, some numbers was also written. Unlike the before, only diagram was represented.
That the numbers what we are mentioned, the minus 14,
Yeah, yeah.
6 you are taking, the 2 is the size of the font.
Okay, sir.
Size of the font, CX is the size of the font. If you write it 1, the size will reduce of the font in which we have written the correlation coefficients, the
Sir,
size of that.
yes, sir. So in that correlation, what diagram it showed, it was like diagram was represented on the lower triangular and upper triangular, some numeric value was given.
Numeric value of the correlation coefficient.
Okay, sir. So that value is given directly, is it?
Value, I will show you. I will share with you. If you have any confusion, I explain you that also. That graph I will show you. Here panels. Are you getting it?
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
So here we are getting that scatter plot,
Yeah.
and here the same variable we are getting the histogram. With the same variable, it will be a histogram. Okay.
Okay.
In the diagonal, you will get the histogram of each. And this size of font, if you want to change, then there is that CX2. If I write the CX3, I will get the more the larger font there, big font. If I want to put 1, then the font will be smaller here. Okay. And here I have taken the -4. I am removing this variable. I am not including the 4th variable and the 14th variable.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'm not including that, but it was my target variable and this was binary.
Yeah.
So I am not involving it. Okay. And the data name is data. So I am putting the data. If you are not removing any variable, then you could put, don't use this thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So that is a function. It will work. It will calculate in backend, give the values and create the graph.
So all together it shows like here plot, histogram,
Yes.
and value. Okay.
It's a very good graph. I always use these pair panels.
Okay, sir.
Okay, there are some other parameters also. If you put the question mark before that pair panels,
Yeah.
and you will see there are some other color you want to change. You could change the color and everything. There are so many parameters.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, from Monday, we are starting the Python program also.
Yes, yes, at 7 to 9.
And what topic you will be covering in Python?
Python, we are covering the Python foundation, the Python basics, like the data types in the Python and the operators in the Python first.
Yes.
With the Python basic, and then we start the NumPy library, and then we start the pandas. And the last topic would be the object oriented programming concepts.
Okay, sir.
Like the for loop and the methods, class. There's so many things we will cover there in the along with the loops. We will cover the for loops, etc. And we cover the if statement also. We cover the various sort of functions. Then we cover the methods also in the OOPS.
And what about the indexing? It is like something different, or it is indexing?
Indexing.
Yes.
Indexing the Python starts with 0 index, no?
No. I'm asking, it is also involved, or it will be? I think it is separate some chapter or something.
I could not understand
I'm asking, in this course, the indexing, the indexing topic will be covered, or it is different chapter or different topic?
No, no.
Sir, I think she is asking about involving the data.
Okay. In the P1, there is no data. Okay, beta.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
the Python foundation. We are making a platform because the R is the very easiest language of the world, programming
Okay.
language. So we
Okay.
have started with the first session. The R1 we have started with R itself with the data, and we were playing with the data in the R, you know,
Okay.
in the
Yes.
third and the 4 days. But in
Okay.
Python, Python is not so much simple language.
Okay,
So
sir.
the first 10 days
Yes.
we have to understand the Python, because the Python basic we have a different data types, and the
Okay, sir.
NumPy we have a different data types, and the
Okay, sir.
pandas there is a different data types.
Okay,
So we
sir.
have a various sort of data types, and we have to transform the one data type into another data type when we have to use it.
Yes, sir.
Understand?
Okay, sir.
So why the 10 days foundation is there for the Python, but in the R we had only 6 days. Got it?
Okay, sir.
In the 6 days we have completed that also, like what I say, the descriptive analysis.
Yes, sir.
But here we are not working with the P1 with any data type. In the P2 we will work with the data types,
Okay, sir.
because the Python is a universal language. We could we could make the web development also, we could do there in the Python. We could do the
Mm-hmm.
embedded programming in the Python.
Yes, sir.
But these basics are compulsory for all field.
Okay,
For
sir.
the data science also it is required. It is also required for the web development. It is also required for the embedded programming.
Okay, sir.
So this is the basic thing. First we learn in the 10 days. And the
Okay.
P2 we start with the univariate analysis, the whatever we have learned here in the R.
Yes.
Same topic we will cover in the same sequence later on.
So maybe in December or maybe in January, P2.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So first you have to attend the P1, then you could do that thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, I will attend P1. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Uh, okay, so we wind up this, and you all enjoy the festival. Okay.
Yes, sir. Happy Diwali once
Happy
again.
Diwali, all of you.
Happy
And
Diwali,
if
sir.
you are attending the Python, we meet on Monday.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks,
Yes.
everyone.
Bye, sir.
Thanks. Thanks.
Sir.
Bye.